Okay, so I'm going to continue working with my texture library. I have this image here. I'm not sure how well this image is going to turn out, but I'm going to go for it anyway. Now to take a closer look at parts of it, I can also zoom in. So I'm going to zoom on into my image and see. I can grab my hand. I love the hand. And I can move around and see, what part do I want to focus in on? Well, I'm really feeling like I want to focus in on where the type is, because I think it makes for a more interesting photograph. So for the texture, I'm going to again crop this image. So I'm going to grab the crop tool and come on in. Now I don't see all of this stuff over here, so I need to go a little bit smaller. And actually I'm going to hit cancel on the crop here. I'm going to go smaller. I'm going to use the keyboard shortcut, which is Command minus. Okay, so I'm going to change up my crop a little bit here. Come on in. Now when I come on in up in here, I can see that the light, it really loses a lot of the image's clarity. So I'm going to come on in and bring this on in. Now, let's talk a little bit about the crop tool too. I can see that this is very much set on, I can change it up the way that I'm seeing it. So some of these different things, I can say rule of thirds, I can do a grid if I'd like to. I could also come in and put it in as a triangle. So there's a lot of different things that you can do. You can do the golden ratio. We could also look at a spiral. All right, so all these different ways of organizing. I'm going to stick with the rule of thirds, and I'm going to double click to crop. Now, with this image too, I'm going to, again, one more time, this time I'm just going to work with the levels real quick. Come on in here and start to see what's happening. Okay, great. Now, for this one too, I'm going to turn this to see what the changes I've made. I can come on over to my layers and I can turn the eyeball off, okay? So when the eyeball is off, we can see that we don't see it. So that's what the image looks like before. Sorry, this is what the image looks like before. This is what it looks like with the levels being done with it. Okay, let's do one more. I'm going to take a look at the hue and the saturation for this one. And what I want to do is I want to saturate this red just a little bit more. So I can come on in, and the red's actually pretty saturated, but let's just see if I was to come on in. Now what's happening when I do that, which is kind of interesting, is the reds are being picked up in that area as well. So I can turn it on and off. Actually, you know what? They were already there, but I can see them more as the red becomes more saturated, which is always interesting. All right, so there we have it. I like this. It's a good done deal. I'm going to save it, coming on in, File, Save As. And again, in order to upload these and send them out, I'm going to go 04 texture, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG. So I save it as a JPEG. I hit Save. Okay. And there I have it. Now from here I have my images that I've worked on so far, and I'm going to open up another set. So I'm going to close these. I'm not worried about saving these because I'm not going to work with them again. But if I was going to save them, if I wanted to work with it again, I would save it as a PSD. Now, when you save it as a PSD, all of the information of the layers stays in place. Don't save. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my next 4 images that I want to work with. So I'm going to come to File, Open, and I worked with this one, this one, this one, and this one so far. So I'm going to open up, and actually I'm going to go all the way down to the bottom. If I hold down Shift, I can click, and then I can go File, I can go Open. So I'm going to come on down, Open. And here come my next set of images that I'm going to start to work on in my library. And I think it's right in here that I'm really going to start to find some interesting textures with a lot of really good information. Thanks so much. Take a look at the next videos to see how I'm going to go about adding these images to my texture library.